Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I have my update for my 101 pans project. So this is my second update and I started this one, I technically started counting pans from May of this year. I first updated this one about a month and a half ago, I think. I think it was sometime in June that I updated. So if you haven't checked that one out, I will link it, but I started out with just 3 pans for this project. My goal is to get to 101 and just see how long that takes me to reach that goal. So I have quite a few pans to talk to you about today, which I'm super excited about. So if you are interested, then keep on watching. Alright, so the first pan that I hit for this set comes from my Colourpop It's a Princess Thing palette, and I hit pan on the shade Enchanted Rose. I hit pan on this on June 22nd. This took me over 28 uses. This is one of the palettes in my collection where I don't have the exact usage number recorded because I got this before I started tracking all of my usage. I think there are about 4 palettes in my collection where that's the case, 4 or 5. So unfortunately I don't have the exact number of uses this one took me to hit pan, but I have 28 uses tracked and I probably used it a good handful of times before then, so some over 30 number probably. But I hit pan on this one thanks to my Harry Potter project pan. I had this one in also for pan those eyeshadows earlier in the year. I didn't hit pan on it then, but I did roll it into my Harry Potter project pan and was able to hit pan on it through that, which is super exciting. I really love this shade. I really love this palette. You have seen it so much throughout this year in different projects, so I am happy to have another pan in this palette, and that does make 5 pans, so super exciting. Alright, the next 2 pans actually come from my Ulta Puff palette, and these were both hit thanks to Project Level Up. This was my level 2 palette, and I did hit 2 pans in it kind of back to back. I didn't hit any pans in between them. But the first one I hit pan on was Lumos, and I hit pan on this June 27th. This one took me a total of 38 uses, and like I said, this was thanks to Project Level Up, which was just a super fun way to get some pans in this palette. These are my first 2 pans, which is so exciting. It is always so fun to see that first pan or 2 in a palette. So the second one I hit was Sherbert, and I hit pan on this on July 1st. So a few days in between hitting pan on both of these, and that one took me a total of 39 uses. So pretty close in usage for both of these, and I really did enjoy reaching for this palette. Those are obviously some fairly basic shades. I used the one to set my crease, blend out looks. I used the other mostly as an inner corner shade, so pretty easy for me to reach for, and I didn't think they would take me super long to hit pan on, so I am still very happy to have my first 2 pans in this palette. Alright, next up we have my Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and I hit pan on the shade Retrograde. I hit pan on this on July 8th, and this one took me 8 total uses to hit pan on, and it was thanks to Pan Those Eyeshadows. This formula, I mentioned this in my Pan Those Eyeshadows update as well when I hit pan on this. There are a few shimmers in this palette that are very kind of a dry formula, and it's Retrograde, Twilight, and Celestial. As you can see, I also have pan on Twilight. So those ones were very, very easy to hit pan on because I felt like I had to really kind of dig into the pan a little bit, build it up quite a bit to get any sort of good pigmentation. So this one did not take me long at all to hit pan on. 8 total uses from when I first got this palette to when I hit pan. So it's honestly a little disappointing that it happened so fast. On the one hand, I'm super excited. I love seeing pans, but for it to take less than 10 uses to hit pan on a shade just because of the formula is a little annoying, but I can't complain too much because look at this pan. It's so beautiful. So this is my fourth one for this round. Alright, the next palette up is my I Heart Revolution Beauty and the Beast. So I hit pan on the shade Mrs. Potts, and I hit pan on this July 13th. And this one took me 36 total uses. I knew that this one was coming for so long, and I had rolled this palette into my No Pan Left Behind project, and that kind of gave me the motivation I needed to focus in on that shade to hit pan. So with that palette, my goal was to only use each shade at one time, but I did go ahead and focus on that a little bit more, so I was able to hit pan. This is another pretty basic shade, those matte cream shades, but I used it quite a bit, and I am super happy to have another pan in here. I have pan in the shade Magic Mirror as well. I don't think you can really even see that one, but Mrs. Potts does make my second pan, which is super exciting. Alright, next up we have my Essence Salute Paris palette, and I hit pan on the fourth shade in here. I hit pan on this on July 14th, so just one day after the Mrs. Potts shade, and this one took me 30 total uses. I feel like right around that 30 range is a pretty normal number for hitting pan on a shade, so I'm really happy that these shades are taking just about that much. And I just hit pan on this one naturally. This is one I've had a dip in for quite a while, and I knew from having hit pan on this one previously that these pans weren't that deep, so I did try and focus in on that one until I got that pan. Next up, as you can probably tell, is going to be this shade. I have quite a dip going in that one. I use that one in my inner corner a lot, so it is a pretty small concentrated area, but that one's definitely going to be next. This is just a really nice palette for everyday looks. It's not really one I would reach for if I want a more dramatic look, but for those kind of soft, romantic, easy to do looks, this palette is perfect, and this kind of tone of a shade is one that I really do enjoy. Alright, next up we have my I Heart Revolution Oh the Places You'll Go palette, and this one is going to be a little bit of a spoiler for my project Level Up. So if you don't want to see that, I would recommend fast forwarding for a little bit. But I have hit pan on 3 new shades now within this palette. I think I'm just going to talk about them all at once, even though this isn't necessarily going to be the order that I hit pan on them. So the very first one that I hit pan on from the 3 I need to talk about is this first shade in here, the matte pink. I hit pan on that on July 21st. It took me 13 total uses. This was my level 3 project Level Up palette, so I was really focused in on hitting some pans for this one. So that one surprisingly did not take me as long as I expected. I thought that one was going to be kind of difficult, but it ended up being a lot more powdery than I thought it was going to be, and a lot easier. I definitely expected the shimmers to be the first ones I hit pan on for this project, but it ended up being the matte shade, which I'm totally fine with. And I am very happy to see that little pan. There's obviously still a ton of product left in the pan, so I have no worries about running out anytime soon, but really happy to see that pan. So the second one I hit pan on for this set was this light purple shade. I hit pan on this one on August 10th, and it took me 31 uses, which I thought was just absolutely insane. I know I just said that around 30 uses seems like a pretty average number for pans, but every other pan that I've hit in this palette has been in like the 10 to 15 range for uses, so having it be twice that much was crazy, but I am very happy to have that pan, and this is one of my favorite shades in this palette. I use it a lot in my inner corner, and it's so pretty. It's just very light, easy to use, but I was definitely kind of shocked at how long it took me to hit pan on that one. And then the true spoiler for this video is this pan over here. I just posted my Project Level Up update, and I had not yet hit pan on that shade. I focused on it a few more times, and I was able to hit pan on it shortly after posting that update. So that one I hit pan on August 17th, and it took me 15 uses total. So like I said, the 10 to 15 range was pretty average for these pans, and that light purple just decided to be stubborn. But I am very happy to have my next pan in this palette. This makes a total of 5 pans in here. There are 3 shades left, and it is honestly so crazy to see so many pans in one palette. I absolutely love it. I think it looks so cool, and hopefully I can just continue to keep using these shades. Alright, next up we have my ABH Subculture palette, and I hit my very first pan in this palette in the shade Cube. So I don't really know how well you'll be able to see that one, but I promise there is a little speck of pan in there. And I hit pan on this one on July 22nd, and it took me 26 uses total, and I hit this one pretty naturally. I was reaching into this quite a bit. I knew I was getting close, and I just really wanted to see my first pan in this palette, so I really buckled down, focused in on it, and I am so happy that this one does finally have pan in it. I have the Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam palettes as well from ABH, and those both look so well loved because of how many pans are in them, and to start getting closer to that number with this one is super exciting to me, so definitely going to be focusing in on this one more in the future as well, but I finally have my first pan and I'm so excited. Alright, there is one more pan I want to talk about today, and this one is also going to be a little bit of a spoiler for my Pan That Palette Bingo project, but this is my NYX Ultimate Utopia palette, and I recently hit pan on this shade over here. So I hit pan on this one on July 30th. This one took me 15 total uses, and I'm super excited, so I'm not going to say too much about this one. If you want to go check out my Pan That Palette Bingo intro, I will have that linked so you can see what that project is all about and my goals with this palette, but I am super excited that I am one step closer to meeting my goals for that project. So I am so excited with how many pans I was able to hit in the last couple of months, month and a half, however long it's actually been since I updated. I now have a total of 82 pans out of 1,071 shades, so a total of 7.66%. I am really enjoying that number. I really want to get to 100 pans total in my collection by the end of the year. I do not know if that will happen. I am currently, I think, at 18 pans for the year, and the most pans I've hit in a year so far is 27, and I would need to double the amount of pans I currently have for the year in order to get to 100, so I'm not sure if that will happen. Let me know what you guys think. I would definitely love to see it, and I feel like I did really good this past couple months on hitting pans, so I'm feeling somewhat confident, but I don't know if I should be that confident quite yet. But let me know what you guys think. Where do you think I can end up by the end of the year? For this project in particular, we are currently sitting at 14 pans, and that is from the start of May of this year, so we are slowly chipping away at the goal of getting to 101, which I am super excited about. So let me know what you guys thought of this video, if this is a project you enjoy seeing. Let me know what else you would like to see from me. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. I do a lot of eyeshadow related content, either just talking about my eyeshadow palettes, tutorials, different projects. So if any of that interests you, please consider subscribing. And with all of that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye!